Hi, I am Tania Coates, and I am on the board of an organization called FILSAA, the Formerly Incarcerated Law Students Advocacy Association at CUNY School of Law in New York City. We at FILSAA work to create a pipeline from prison to a career as an attorney. We are comprised of formerly incarcerated law students and allies, and we provide support, scholarships, free textbooks, tutoring, and advocate for your admission into law school as formerly incarcerated students. I, along with other FILSAA members, are here to talk about how to get into law school with a criminal record. So let's get started. Can I go to law school with a criminal record? Yes, you can still go to law school and become a lawyer with a criminal record. It may take more work from you than other people applying without a criminal record, but it is completely doable, it is realistic, and if you don't want to take my word for it, then there are other formerly incarcerated students in law school as proof. And to hear from some of my fellow classmates who are formerly incarcerated and doing amazing work, you can click on one of the links below in the description box or watch all of the videos in this series, which I will link in the playlist right up here. Now, how do I get into law school with a criminal record? First, I just want to point out that the process of getting into law school is time-consuming and may very well take you up to a year. It can also take you a couple of months, but either way, you will have to put in a good amount of work because to get into law school, you will need a bachelor's degree. You will need to sign up with an organization called FILSAA. You will need to take a test called the LSAT. You will need to write a personal statement. You will need recommendation letters. You will have to submit a resume. You will have to fill out law school applications. And there are many fees that you will need to pay throughout the process. So you're going to have to put in a lot of work. But now we are going to touch on everything that I just mentioned in more detail throughout the video. Bachelor's degree. As I first mentioned, you will need a bachelor's degree, but it does not matter what your major is or was. There is no requirement that says that you had to have studied law or politics or business in college to get into law school, so there is no need to worry about that. GPA does play a role. However, you do not have to be an honor student to get into law school. Of course, that only helps you, but there are many students who get into school who were not honor students. The strength of your application is really going to rely on your entire package, which is that list of requirements that I mentioned before. So there is a lot more important things than your GPA. You will, however, need to request your transcript from your college or university, and you will do this by signing up with an organization called LSAC. LSAC, L-S-A-C as in cat, is the Law School Admission Council, which they are the organization that handles the application process for pretty much every law school. And to request your transcript, you will need to sign up on their site, select whatever college you got your degree from, and it will generate a transcript request form. Now, you will have to take this form and go request your transcript from your school yourself. LSAC does not actually retrieve it for you, but it needs to be done through that form and submitted to LSAC, which you just need to contact your college and they can walk you through that process. Now, with LSAC, they use a service called the CAS to handle everything in the law school application process. So you will have to pay the CAS fee to be able to apply to law school. Currently, as of 2020, 2021, that fee is $195, and they also have an additional $45 fee to send your law school report out to law schools. So that is $240. Now, LSAC does offer fee waivers, and to find out if you qualify for that, you would click on the LSAT tab, L-S-A-T as in Tom tab, at the top of LSAC's website, and then you would click fees and refunds, and then you would go to fee waivers. Now the LSAT, the LSAT. The LSAT is the law school admission test, and it is unlike any test that you have ever taken in your academic career, and I can definitely attest to that, and every lawyer and law student that I know would agree with that as well. The LSAT is a skills-based exam designed to test your critical reading and analytical thinking skills. It is broken up into two parts. The first part of the test is a multiple choice exam broken up into sections that include reading comprehension, analytical reasoning, and logical reasoning questions. The second part of the test is a written essay. Each section is timed, and they are very serious and strict about the time limit, so be mindful of that. You will also be there for like half a day taking the test. It is not a pass or fail test. You will get a score ranging from 120 to 180. 160 and above is normally considered a good score. 150 to 160 is decent, and you can still get into many law schools with that score, including CUNY School of Law. Anything under 150, we would suggest that you take the test again. but that choice is completely up to you. The LSAT is only offered a couple times a year, so you have to make sure to register in advance and by the registration deadline, which you will find on LSAC, and you will register through your LSAC account, LSAC account. The price as of 2020-2021 is $200 to take the LSAT, but there are fee waivers, as I mentioned before. Now, the LSAT is hard for everyone, so don't let it get you down or discourage you. Most law students end up taking the LSAT multiple times because they don't get the score that they need the first time they take it. It is very tedious. It takes lots of hours and months of studying because it really is unlike any other test that you have ever taken. Now, with studying for the LSAT, many students take LSAT prep courses, which the common LSAT prep companies are Kaplan, PowerScore, and Testmasters. They are normally priced over $1,000, even up to $2,000. So be prepared for that fee if you decide to go that route. Again, the LSAT is unlike any test you have ever taken, and it is extremely difficult. So a lot of people feel like prep courses are absolutely necessary. However, there are some students who choose to self-study instead, and they still get good scores on their LSAT, and they still get into law school. So if you are worried about the money, then maybe consider self-studying instead. Which actually, one of our formerly incarcerated law students self-studied and got a better LSAT score than pretty much everyone I know. And he made a video talking about his self-study process, which you can find in the description box down below, or right up here in this video, or in our playlist. Also, FILSAA can supply you with some LSAT study materials and possibly tutoring, so reach out to us if you are interested in that. Personal statement. A personal statement is basically an essay or a piece of writing where you get to tell your story. Each of us has a story, and the challenge is finding the best way to tell it in your personal statement, because your personal statement is a very important part of your law school application. It's pretty much your only chance to showcase who you are as a person. And after your LSAT score, many schools focus on your personal statement to determine whether you will be a positive addition to their law school community and to see the strength of your writing skills. Some schools have specific writing prompts that they want you to touch on. Some have certain page limits. It all varies, so just make sure that you read the instructions for every law school's application carefully and follow whatever requirements that they give you. We also have a separate video completely dedicated to writing your personal statement from a formerly incarcerated student himself, which you will find in the playlist that I've mentioned a couple times already. And we also have a video from our school's executive director of admissions, which is filled with very useful information and tips for writing your personal statement as someone with a criminal record. And as a key person in the admissions office, she really touched on a lot. So I suggest that you watch both of those videos. I also want to point out that you will have to adjust your criminal record honestly. And just so you know, everyone was nervous about their personal statement. I know I was, and I definitely thought I wasn't good enough many times throughout writing my personal statement. But nerves and doubt are fully part of the law school application process, probably fully part of the whole law school experience. And I really mean that. So don't count yourself out if you start to feel this way. You're probably smarter than you think. Recommendation letters. You will need recommendation letters. Most law schools ask for 2 letters at the minimum, but you may need more than that depending on the school. So just make sure you look out for how many they ask for. And again, we have a separate video completely dedicated to this. And we also have the video with our executive director of admissions that touches a lot on this too. I also mentioned that you will need a resume. It's really just a standard resume, and the law school will normally have directions for the format of the resume or any specific things that they want you to include. So again, pay attention to that in the application instructions. The application. You will also have to fill out an actual application, which you will be able to access through your LSAC account, which is the site and organization that I mentioned at the beginning of this video and many times throughout this video. Law school applications will cost you from $50 to $100 per application. So that's another fee to be mindful of that's associated with the process. However, most law schools offer fee waivers. So depending on what school you're applying to, make sure you look into that and see if you qualify. Now, the actual application will most likely annoy you because it's basically going to ask you for a lot of the same exact information that you're already going to be giving them with all the other stuff that they require and ask you for. But I don't make the rules, so we're just going to go with it. Now, these were the sections that were part of CUNY Law's application when I applied. Biographical info, contact info, family info, law school interest, public interest, program, which is basically asking if you plan on being a full-time student or part-time student, demographic info, past education info, your LSAT score, employment history, if you served in the military, and character and fitness. And this is where they ask about your criminal record in the character and fitness section. So again, be honest, and please watch the video with our executive director of admissions because she goes into more detail on this. Now, you may have to or want to send an application to many different law schools, and I'm going to give you some unfortunate news, which is that they may all reject you, which is sadly the case for many formerly incarcerated students applying to law school. However, you can also just apply to CUNY School of Law since it has a proven track record of admitting formerly incarcerated students, as you will see through other videos in our playlist from current formerly incarcerated law students. And if you connect with FILSAA, us, before applying, then we help to advocate for your admission into CUNY School of Law. But if you still find yourself applying to many schools and getting many rejections, we of course have a video for that as well for you. Down there, up here, in the playlist. Now, this is the end of this video, so we hope that this information has been helpful to you. And if you have any questions or need help applying to law school, then please email us at filsa@mail.law.cuny.edu, which I will definitely put in the description box down below, so you can just copy and paste that because I know that that is a long email address. You can also follow us on Instagram at FILSA_CUNY Law and Twitter at FILSA_CUNY. But feel free to email us for LSAT study tips, reviewing and editing your personal statement, just for advice in general, or if you just want to talk about the process and see what law school is like, you can email us for that too. With FILSAA, our goal truly is to get more formerly incarcerated students into law school and to support you throughout your law school journey. So we are more than happy to help you in any way that we can because we really know that your voice is very important and is desperately needed in the legal world. So please reach out and be sure to watch the rest of the videos in our How to Go to Law School with a Criminal Record playlist, and best of luck.